Hi, everyone. This is a follow-up question to a podcast on health fears. Um, the listener said, "Thank you. I listened twice. The complete insanity sounded right, and I was able to fully see that. What didn't sound right was the unquestioned me at the center of it. I'd said that when the I is unquestioned, there's a constant agenda of trying to find home from separation." And the listener goes on, "It's not unquestioned, it's being questioned every day, reading and listening to teachers on the subject, and still the insanity lives on. Thanks for your help." And then I said, "Can I look at this in a podcast?" And they say, "Yes. And please look at why it lives on in mainly one sticky area, which is health, but not so much in others anymore. Thank you." Yeah, so this is interesting. So, two things. We've got this subject of questioning the I and the role that plays out, and then why do some areas of our life seem much more, much fuller of suffering, much more conflict, much more fight and flight. And so we might have spent all our lives in one way or another looking at a spiritual exploration, exploring what's true, exploring reality, exploring the world of thought, maybe doing meditation or mindfulness. And it might well be that there are still areas of our life where there is intense suffering. There might be anxiety or a deep feeling of lack, not feeling enough, where it looks like there's something going on. There's obviously something being projected. There's some struggle going on, but no matter how hard we try, no matter how much we inquire, nothing shifts. And the reason that nothing is shifting is because of the desire for something to shift. And that's the cosmic joke. That's the ultimate paradox. That's what's going on. And it sounds so annoying. But that's what's happening, because the desire for something to shift, so the desire for suffering to end, or the desire for guaranteed happiness, or guaranteed what we want, we want money, we want a partner, we want friends, we want perfect body, whatever it is that we're desperate for, or whatever it is that we're desperate to avoid, to get rid of, that desperation is coming from an unquestioned idea, conditioning, learning, which has come ultimately from some form of knock to the system, some form of trauma, that says, this is me, this is what I am, and I need this, or I have to avoid that. That's the unquestioned I. And when spiritual search, when inquiry, when any exploration, when any conversation even is had on behalf of that unquestioned I, then the whole conversation, the whole inquiry is happening at the level of, how will this somehow secure me? How can I get what I want in this? How can I avoid what I don't want? And the whole of reality pans out from there. And the whole thing is locked in place by this unquestioned me. We say I so casually, I think this, I want that. The I in that is so out of bounds of questioning really what is that I, because it contains in it so many assumptions of being the doer, being the decider, being the chooser, being separate from how everything else appears, being separate from wisdom, intelligence, having to somehow control experience, moods, mindset, other people, reactions, behavior. It's packed in, it's jam-packed into this I. And when the attempt to change experience in some way, because it will secure me, like it really looks like a life and death thing, when that is happening, no, there isn't any genuine inquiry. There is no real exploration, because the thing that is sort of locking in place all of these assumptions, all of these concepts, isn't even looked at, because that's like it's a pillar, and it's right behind us, and we're looking around but not even seeing the thing that is creating everything. So that's what's going on. So I would say when we've engaged in a conversation about reality, we're spiritually exploring and nothing is changing, good. Now we're starting somewhere. Now we can actually start to see a bit more clearly what's going on. So let's, in that case, move into the things that we want to change and really see what is going on there. Where is the resistance? Where are emotions not able to be felt? Where is there this life and death fear? What's at stake in these areas? And that gradually starts to open up this whole tension that contains all these beliefs, this conditioning about what we are, and now we can start really getting real with what this I actually is. Because once the I is genuinely questioned, it's like, no, and then there's another realm, there's a whole other world. It just, the world just doesn't exist in the same way that it does when it's held at this surface appearance of reality. Yeah. And so the second question, why are some areas more problematic, more suffering, more obstacles? Because they look like the areas where the I can secure itself. They look like the areas where the I is under threat of total instability, of insecurity. They're the areas where there's the most shame associated, or the greatest fear, the greatest sense of lack. And it comes from development, it comes from our conditioning, it comes from our upbringing, what was learned, it comes from traumas that we've been through. And this is why this sort of recognition that the way the world appears, the way reality appears, is a mirror reflected back on the makeup of that self-identity. And so through reality, that self-identity becomes more available, the knocks to the system become more understood. There's just greater openness to feeling whatever's there to be felt. And so the areas where there is the greatest struggle are the greatest gifts, because that's really setting free this sort of prison of protection that otherwise just gets built more and more strongly. Yeah. Thank you, darling. Bye.